What's up, you beautiful bastards? What a week it's been for everybody. Just a tragic week overall. And I decided I needed to talk about it. So I did a stream talking about it, and I have made all the VODs for that stream private, and instead decided after, the people that came participated, because I got a lot of people's opinions and I gave my own, because this directly affects me and my channel and the content that I cover, because a huge portion of this affects the AAA game industry, if you're not aware. So I decided to privatize the actual VODs once the stream was over, and I'm going to clip together a much more digestible video of what's going on and my thoughts for all of you. So let's, without further ado, do the drop, and you guys can watch it.
I am Razio.
Oh boy, man, what a week. What a week for everybody, huh? It's unfortunate that my first official, scheduled stream back, this is the direction that I have to take it. We're going to talk about what's going on right now. Now, if obviously you're unaware, which I don't know how you could be this unaware. If you're unaware, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Now, like him or hate him, I don't care. Nobody should be killed for their opinion, right? Just point blank, you can't argue that. No, nobody should. I don't care if it's the stupidest opinion in the world, or it doesn't matter. But that's not necessarily, the whole event itself is not what I'm here to talk about, because everybody has their own ideas, their own opinions, their own thoughts about that. If you've watched my content for any significant amount of time, you kind of know my values and my views and whatever. And we can get into that. If you guys have questions about that, we can get into that. My problem with this stream is about is what has been exposed in the AAA gaming industry. What's been exposed in the AAA gaming industry because of this? This you may not be aware of. There have been a lot of leaks of employees at AAA game companies, and there's a lot of them, but I'm just going to name big ones here. Blizzard Entertainment, Bethesda, Square Enix, Sucker Punch, the one that's involved with Ghost of Tsushima and the new one that's coming out, Ghost of Yutai or whatever it is, that are showing what their employees actually think. You can disagree morally, politically, what have you, with anybody, and it's your right, it's fine. But to celebrate and cheer on and be happy, openly express your happiness, to celebrate a man getting murdered in front of his fans, his friends, and above all, his own wife and kid, is fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. And I have receipts. Obviously, I came with receipts, boys. You know me. Yeah, I agree, Math. It's absolutely a cesspool. We all knew that every entertainment industry, music, Hollywood, gaming, has been heavily infested with not programmers or artists, but with activists for a long time. But I don't think you're right. I think you're right, Math. We didn't have an idea of how deep it actually went and what their actual viewpoints were. And you may say, well, Raz, you play, you still play World of Warcraft. That's changing, because I can ignore when somebody shoves some ideology I don't agree with in a game. I can ignore it. I can ignore when a company like Blizzard takes, all the pictures of women in bikinis that were on the in walls in World of Warcraft and replace it with the fruit basket. Okay, fine, whatever. Sensitive baby, but whatever. That's fine. It doesn't affect my gameplay. But when you openly mock, cheer on murder, I can't get behind that. I can't give you money. I can't support your company. And we're going to go through some of these receipts. I refuse to give my money. Even though I love World of Warcraft, I'm a guild leader. We're going to get AOTC this week, and then I'm letting my subscription run out, and I'm not playing World of Warcraft anymore. And I love World of Warcraft. It's my favorite MMO. But fuck that, dude. No. What's more important to me than me playing an MMO are my values and my principles, and I'm not going to give money to a company that allows this. Now, Elon Musk even tweeted at Microsoft CEO in this thread of what these people were saying about Charlie Kirk's assassination. He retweeted it to Microsoft CEO. He said, what the fuck's going on here? And Microsoft, of course, gave the standard canned PR answer of, we don't agree with this. We're looking at each case individually as we speak, what have you. I will not personally, me myself, will not be personally satisfied until I have visual receipts of every Blizzard employee in that thread being fired, being removed from the company. Unless I see that, I'm not going back to World of Warcraft. I need to see receipts that they are gone, that they are fired. But let's look at some of those receipts here together. So here's the thread. So this thread was, if you guys don't know, Grums on X. He's great. You should follow him. He's an ex-Blizzard developer, actually. And he's a master at digging shit up. I just love all these activists getting fired and having meltdowns while they're just getting a taste of what's been going through from. Well, and here's the thing. Before I get into the receipts, I want to address what you just said, Ulfgear. I think it's important to address what you said, because a lot of people say, well, isn't this just repackaged cancel culture? Isn't this also an infringement on free speech? The answer to that is fucking no, and I'll tell you why. So in the past, let's rewind the clocks to 2019, 2020. People were cancel culturing, ostracizing people for just refusing to inject a vaccine in their body, to being a Christian, to just having any opinion that they didn't like, and they would cancel you, right? Here's the thing though. You can have the opinion that you don't care if Charlie Kirk was murdered, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that opinion. If that's your opinion, I mean, I think there's something wrong. I think it's messed up, but at the same time, you probably never listened to anything the dude said, but it's still your opinion. That's fine. I don't think you should get fired over that. However, when you have a public visual account that literally labels the companies you work for on them because you're proud of where you work, and then you say this vile, disgusting shit. And I don't know about you, but kind of ever since social media came out, every company has a social media policy you sign when you get hired, saying, hey, what you do, what you say is a reflection on us as a company, so be careful, don't do this. Doing this and saying messed up shit, can put your job in danger. Everyone's very clear. So they're automatically violating probably every policy, social media policy their company has anyway. And here's a difference, right? None of these people getting fired for the nasty shit they've said are going to jail. None of them are getting any kind of charges placed on them. They're still free people. Contrast that with like UK, where you get arrested for Facebook posts, right? Yes, if you are representing your company in your tags, the company has to make a decision when they find out what you say. They have to say, okay, does what this person's saying align with our company values? If the answer is yes, you just let them say it. If it's no, you disciplinary action them. So they're still free to say whatever they want. Their freedom of speech has not been infringed. This isn't cancel culture. This is consequence culture. You're still responsible for the things you say and do. You're not have this invincible shield. And the most fucked up thing about these sorts of people is they were so confident in saying these horrendous things because in their deluded, delusional world, They think everybody agrees with them. And you know what? Everyone in their company and their immediate circle probably does agree with them, which is sick too. Like she writes stories for World of Warcraft. So does she. Senior writer and narrative designer. Writer and narrative designer at Blizzard. Right? And these people, all their DMs about this awful shit they were saying were leaked. It's absolutely absurd that this is allowed, that this cancer is allowed to be. And so you have to ask yourself, are these people that get hired, and I want your guys' feedback on this, are these people that get hired, it's probably in my settings actually, are they hiding who they are when they're during the hiring process, or are they very clear and blatant about who they are, and that's why they get hired? Do the studios just hire them, or do they create them? So here's more of this person, Hazel Monforton, senior writer and narrative designer at Blizzard, talking shit. No wonder the writing in World of Warcraft has been shit. How many times in my videos have I been talking about how bad the lore in World of Warcraft is? And then this bitch goes on to write a whole article about how pretty much she doesn't care. She calls it "the left knows how to party." I'm not going to say anything about this, but I want you guys to take a look and tell me what you see in this dude's profile here. Who can spot how many red flags do you count? If I could tell this dude one thing, it would be, dude, she's not gonna sleep with you. Technical designer for World of Warcraft, reposting inflammatory posts on the assassination. I just want to play video games, man. And World of Warcraft was one of my favorite games to play. I'm not going to play it anymore because of this company wants these people representing them. It's the whole AAA game industrial complex. Also the localizers, all rotten. Kate Kunar, English localizer and lore consultant for Final Fantasy XIV, is sharing disappointment that Blue Sky don't let people cheer Charlie Kirk death. I know this to be true for a fact. One of my best friends got his degree in game design, and he left the industry because he said it's so toxic, so bad. He's not anymore now. He's just a network administrator because he's like, I couldn't, man. And what a shame, dude. His dream was to design games, and he's a Christian, and he just wouldn't survive there in that industry. Now we have Bethesda's producer going above and beyond to celebrate, feeling fancy in the endless retreats of lies and fear-mongering. And like Grums points out, Savvy points out, this isn't some low-level worker. This is a lead producer of Bethesda games. These fucking idiots will say shit like this. They'll ask you to mourn the deaths they mourn and no others. Nobody is asking or telling anyone that you should mourn. If you don't care, you don't care. That's fine. They're not saying, hey, you should feel bad. You should mourn this guy's assassination. You should feel as bad as we do. No one's saying that. They're not telling anybody what they should feel. They're saying, hey, don't openly mock, disrespect someone who was murdered in front of his wife and kid and like thousands of people all at once. They're not telling you to care. They're saying just don't be a piece of shit. But these people literally are incapable of not being pieces of shit. They don't know how. And here's Final Fantasy XIV chat in their forums are all a dumpster fire. People posting that they should not celebrate murder are getting shouted down. I mean, come on. How many fucking furries are in Final Fantasy XIV? Way more than people think. all while trying to defend Square Enix localizer Kate Quinoir for reposting violent political rhetoric against the right. Now, there are rumors going around that Kate was fired. I can't verify them. I don't know if they're true. All I know for sure what happened, Square has said nothing, and they completely shut down any thread related to her. They just scrubbed them from their forums. That's all that happened with that. The only verifiable, 100% verifiable action taken against any game developer that I've seen so far is the Sucker Punch developer was fired. There she is, the creator of Wook Lamat, the celebrator of murder and death. She's been reposting violent rhetoric against the right. The hardest thing, this is about Luke Wamat, or whatever that stupid character is. Hardest thing is if there's a character I really like and then people say it's a character that sucks. I'm like, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. What? All right, but let's see what she actually said. Anyway, the choice America faces going forward is live in live in Confederacy or Reconstruction for real and purge those motherfuckers from all public life, and there isn't really an in-between. Okay. What's the first rule? The first rule of the Communist Manifesto. Accuse the other side of doing what you are actually doing. You guys want to know a stark contrast. All you need, dude. Yeah, I know, Wolfgear. All you need to see the truth are your fucking eyeballs. Let's wind the clocks back again. When George Floyd was killed, what happened around the country? Cities burned. Stores were looted. People were killed. Property was destroyed. Houses and places of business were broken into. Politicians were encouraging people to riot. What happened this week when Charlie Kirk was murdered? Did you guys see any riots? Did any buildings burn down? Did you guys see any looting? Did anybody else just get shot or violently attacked in the streets? Did anyone's car get stolen? Anybody's property get destroyed? Anybody go online trying to get bailout money for committing crimes? No. People held vigils. People went to church. People prayed. People tried to honor the dude. Society was still stable. How hard is it to not see the difference between how the two sides react to things? And I want to make it clear. I'm a Christian. I'm not a Republican. I've always been an independent. I've always been an independent. And, 20 years ago in my early 20s, when I was a little bit of a retard, I voted Democrat back then, right? And the reason why, though, is because the Democrat Party was completely different. Most of my values and beliefs haven't changed since I was 22 years old. A few have, but not a lot. And now everyone says I'm on the right, where I'm like, dude, I've always been an independent, man. Because don't get me wrong, both Republicans and Democrats are corrupt and always have been. But this is completely out of right versus left now. Everything we're seeing about this whole situation is not about right versus left. It's about good versus evil. This is a spiritual war. But I'm going too far into leftism and all that shit here. We got to refocus on these sick fucks in the gaming industry. How many videos are out there on YouTube right now talking about how games are awful, right? Like, how many videos have I made alone about how awful games are? How modern games are shit now, how, everything sucks, how everything's about microtransactions and money and about all this stuff. There's a billion of them out there. Now we know the root problem. People like this are in these companies. Obviously, shareholders and big money is a big issue too. But that's more about microtransaction. Why are games, the programming, the design, the systems in the games, why are they so shit? Why are the stories so terrible? Why is everything so buggy? Because all the good, talented artists that just wanted to make good video games are not there anymore, and they were all replaced with the most vile, soulless, heartless, godless savages on the planet that hate you. They don't care about making games. Like I said before, companies don't make games, people make games. And if the people making the games are rotten to the very core, down to their roots, you're going to get something rotten. Like, it's so shit because the people making the games are so shit. And I'm sure there are some good ones in every one of these companies we talked about. I'm sure there are still some good, solid, passionate developers and creators. But if you think it was bad 5 years ago being anything other than on the left, so being on the right, being far right, being middle leaning right, shit, even being middle or middle leaning left, you had to keep your mouth shut if you worked at a place like this, because if you expressed any different kind of opinion, you would be either fired or you would be blacklisted and ostracized from that, from the gaming development entire world and the community in general. You'd be kicked out, right? You'd be ridiculed and kicked out because you don't fit in. I mean, I've seen a billion times in my own life how quick these types of people eat each other when one of them starts to think for themselves. When one of them starts to go, you know what? This doesn't really sit right with me. I don't agree with you guys on this. They devour you whole. They eat their own. They have no loyalty. The only loyalty they have is to themselves, because they've knocked God off his pedestal and they placed themselves on it, and to their feelings and to the cause. That's it. They're not loyal to friends because they don't really have any. They have people they use. They're not loyal to family because they've ostracized most of their family, and their family can't stand to be around them anymore, and probably disowned half of them. I'm sure their fucking cats can't stand them. They're only hanging around because they get fed. Imagine waking up and living every day of your life like this. Just so full of hate for everyone, man. And here's the thing. I can't even say, as a Christian, I don't want to hate anybody. I don't even hate these people. I feel bad for these pathetic wastes of life. Pathetic wastes of a divine light. Every one of us, dude, is a divine light from God. Every single one of us has that divine candle inside all of us, because we were all created by God, right? And I feel sad that theirs has been snuffed out. Whether they were brainwashed by friends, by the internet, by the communities they're in, by mainstream media, whatever. It's sad all the way around that they were corrupted to this level, or what happened in their life to make them choose this. But I feel sorry for them. I don't hate them. I'm mad that they've ruined something that I loved, like World of Warcraft, like various other games, right? I hate that. Where would you have to be in your life, man, to laugh, mock, celebrate a man who is, by the way, guys, Charlie Kirk was not, I mean, he was on the right, but he wasn't a hard righter. He was more moderate than even Trump. He literally was the guy that just wanted to talk. He was like, I want you to be able to speak your mind, whether you're on the right, the left, or the middle. In fact, he didn't like talking to people on the right. He's like, you already agree with me. We have nothing to talk about. He wanted to talk to people that thought differently than him. He was the peaceful dude. And they executed him in front of his kid. in front of his dad. I mean, his mom. I think his mom probably might have been there, but his wife, his kid, and about like a couple thousand people that just wanted to talk. He was the olive branch that was extended, and they just iced him. So back to my original point. My YouTube channel has been about MMORPGs, right? I've always mostly, with a hard focus, like all things said and done, on Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. I cannot, in good conscience, continue to give money to Blizzard Entertainment when my money pays these people's salaries. So I'm canceling my subscription to World of Warcraft. And I won't be streaming it anymore. And the only thing that will bring me back to World of Warcraft is if I see visual evidence that of every single fucker I saw in that feed is fired. I have to have visual evidence, not just some PR post. We've handled it. You know, we're looking into it. No, I want evidence they're gone. And an apology from Blizzard. But you know what? How long has everybody been waiting for Elder Scrolls 6? Long time. I will not be buying Elder Scrolls 6 when it comes out in 2037. Unless the same thing happens. An official apology and evidence of these people getting removed from the company. Same thing with the Square Enix product, man. The Wook Lumat maker bitch needs to be gone. Out. I don't care if you agree or disagree with anything Charlie Kirk said. That's your right. You can do whatever you want. That's fine. But if I see you celebrating the murder of somebody, someone becoming a widow, two little kids that are never going to really, they're not going to really have memories of their dad. They're going to have to learn about who their dad really was when they're teenagers, young adults, by looking at clips of him on the internet. And you know what? Eventually they're going to see the clips of his face getting blown off. If you celebrate that, you're not human. I don't want to associate with you. I don't want to do anything that puts money in your pocket. I don't want to talk to you. You should be ostracized from society. You don't belong in a civilized society. You don't belong here. This is sick, man. Absolutely disgusting. And so, yeah, like I said, I won't be streaming World of Warcraft anymore until this gets resolved, if it ever does, which I doubt. I won't be playing... obviously, I wasn't going to play Final Fantasy XIV anyway, but... Nope. Bethesda, any game made by Bethesda, completely off the table, man. Just gone. Nope. I'm not supporting companies that employ sociopaths. You can see it in their eyes, man. Their identity is hating things. Their personality is hating things. Hating people. Hating people and ruining and destroying things that were once beautiful. Which makes sense because they hate themselves more than anything else. So, well, it bums me out, man. I was looking forward to playing Midnight. I was looking forward to the player housing that was coming in WoW. I was really looking forward to all of it, man. But that's not as important as my values and my principles, dude. I can do a really good job of separating the artist from the art, but not here. Not here, man. Nope. I hope they do too, man. I do hope they fire them. But I need evidence that they do. I don't want some PR written statement of, we're handling the situation, guys. Fuck you. Show me the proof. You want my money? Show me the proof that you don't hire terrorists to make your products. My firm belief is we can trace back when society started going off the rails. Remember how before we were reminiscing how great shit was 20 years ago, 25 years ago? When shit really started to go off the rails was when people started, they knocked God off his pedestal and replaced it with themselves. Everybody worships something, even if you don't know it. Something or someone. And people started worshiping themselves. That's why we have a society full of nihilists, self-obsessed, narcissists everywhere, always looking for clicks, for likes, for counts, for attention, being whores, being skanks, being gigolos and players, being pieces of shit. It's because we've lost our base morality. Sometimes how you find God, Ram, is by finding the devil first. In fact, I would say that's more common than just finding God. You find the devil first, and you either follow him or when you actually see it, you're pushed to find God. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts and opinions. Now, if everyone's entitled to their own, and if my opinion makes you not want to sub to my channel anymore, I understand. I don't give a fuck. Go. Leave. If you think what I said is bad, then I don't want you watching my content anyway. But refuse to bend on my principles and my values and what I believe in, just as I think you should as well. And so that's what I think. And yeah, so more content coming soon. Again, my streaming schedule is in full effect Monday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, Wednesday 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So come hang out. We can have a chat. And as always, my friends, take care of yourselves out there. Be safe. And as always, keep it real.